Hello everyone, TMMgamer here, and today I have the pleasure of bringing you another FIFA 13 tutorial. Now today I'm going to be covering basic finishing. Now what I'm going to be doing is showing you two very simple tips to really dramatically increase the number of goals you score within the penalty area. So if you're looking at a tutorial to score from long distance or score some of those more technical finishes, lobs or whatever, I'm going to show you that in a future tutorial. But this is one for people who are really struggling to finish just the basic chances, and these two tips will dramatically increase the number of goals you score. So guys, let's get right into it. Now, before I get onto the finishing tips, as the ball gets played over here and the clip pauses, there's one thing you've always got to remember when you're going to have a shot on target, and that is what player do I have control of. Now, you can see in the bottom left here that I have Robin van Persie under control. Now, most of you guys know Robin van Persie is left-footed, and the most important thing I can recommend to you in FIFA 13 is get that ball on your striker's strongest foot, because you see so many people run through on goal after a beautiful move, and then just as they're about to pull the trigger, they have a bad touch or they knock the analog stick the wrong way, put the ball on their weaker side, and it just makes finishing a lot more difficult, because only the very best players in the game will have 4 or 5 star weak foot. So you need to consistently keep putting the ball on their stronger side. So that's my first generic tip, and that's something you need to consider every single time you have a chance, regardless of the striker you're with. But the second tip I want to really get across to you guys is the angle you are approaching the goal, because that really defines your options when you're finishing. Now, as you can see, when I received the ball with Robin van Persie here, I was in a lot of space, so that enables me to approach the goal at a 45-degree angle. Now, what I always like to do is approach on this 45-degree angle if your striker's strongest foot is on the inside, so closer to the centre of the pitch. Now, what this enables you to do is set up the finesse shot, and that is the first technique I'm going to be teaching you here. Now, as you can see as the clip rolls on here, I begin to approach the goal at the 45-degree angle, and just as I'm about to finish there, I pause the clip. Now, the most important thing to remember with the finesse finish, which is holding right bumper on the Xbox or R1 on the PS3 when you're powering up, is not to hit it too hard. In previous FIFAs, you could really power up a finesse shot and basically curl it in from anywhere within 25 yards, and it was a little bit too easy. Now, one thing I have noticed in FIFA 13 is you've got to be a lot more precise with your finish. You can't just have a punt from miles away and see the ball fly into the top corner, so you need to concentrate on getting the ball down on your stronger side and approaching the goal at a 45-degree angle. And you can see the real benefit of doing that here, because as the clip's paused, the keeper has just begun to try and close the angle down. Now, because you've approached the goal at an angle and not from directly in front of the keeper has left the far left-hand side of the goal from the striker's point of view open, and that is perfect to finesse it round him. So you begin to see the importance of advancing towards the goal at an angle, because it draws the keeper out towards you, away from the centre of his goal, instead of directly out towards the edge of the penalty area. Now, what you do in this situation is get your finesse shot ready by holding RB or R1, and then if you have a look in the bottom left hand corner, you can see that I only use 2 bars of power, and this is a finish that doesn't require a lot of power, because what you're trying to do is just curl it round him and nestle it into the bottom corner. Or if you do accidentally put too much power onto it, all that's going to happen is it'll go slightly higher up in the goal, because you see a lot of people try and go for the top corner every time, and yet it looks absolutely brilliant when it comes off, but a lot of the time you're going to overpower it and hit the crossbar, or you're going to get a little bit too twitchy and end up missing the target. So always aim for the bottom corner if you can, because then if you do get a little bit twitchy and hold a little bit too much power down, all that will happen is the ball will go slightly higher into the net, and that's something you can deal with. But you know, you begin to see everything coming together now. Because I've brought the ball down on my stronger side and approached the goal from the angle, I now have the ability to use my stronger foot to curl it round him, away from the keeper's reach and into the bottom corner, as you can see here. Now, this is a brilliant finish to get really honed down, because it's one that you're going to be using all of the time. So I hope you found that a bit interesting. Let's move on to the second technique in this tutorial. Now, the second finishing technique I want to show you in this tutorial is one that I call the Bale finish, and then this is because I've seen Gareth Bale, who plays for Spurs and Wales in real life, do this finish so many times. And the finish is when you break through in the goal and the angle is very, very narrow, instead of trying to hit it across the keeper, you try and drill it in the near post, because even the very, very best keepers in the world will leave a little bit of a gap at your near post. So what you're looking to do is, when you've been driven a little bit wide by the defender, or you've just miscontrolled the ball, or the ball just drops to you at a tighter angle, sometimes it's not realistic to go for the far post because the angle of the goal is too tight, and if you do, you risk dragging it wide or just punting it over the bar. And what I like to do in this situation is drill it at the near post. Now, there are several key differences between the bail finish and the finesse finish. Now, obviously, the first and most obvious one is your position on the pitch. Now, as the clip pauses here, you can see that the angle where I'm shooting from is much, much tighter than it was in the finesse finish. But most importantly, my stronger foot, which in this case, again, with Robin van Persie is his left foot, is on the outside of the goal instead of the inside. So it's closer to the touchline than it is to the centre of the pitch. And this really makes it a lot more difficult to finesse it around the keeper, because as I was explaining earlier, even the very, very best players in the world don't often have 4-star or 5-star weak foot, and that makes trying to finesse it around the keeper with their weaker side slightly more challenging, especially from this very, very narrow angle. So what I like to do in this situation is drill it at the near post. Now, as you can see in this still image, with the keeper in the position he's in, because I've gone even closer to the byline than he's expecting, I've left myself a gap, possibly only of a yard or a yard and a half, for me to drill the ball through. But in this finish, that's all you need, because by the time the keeper's even realised what's happened, the ball's gone past him and into the net. There's very, very few keepers in the world with reflexes high enough to save this finish. So the key things to remember are, if you're at a slightly less severe angle with your stronger foot on the inside of the pitch, you try and finesse it round him into the far corner. If you're at a much tighter angle with your stronger foot towards the outside of the pitch, this is where the bail finish really comes in useful. Now, what I like to do with this one is just hit it with the laces, so you're not holding R1, you don't touch L1 at all, it's just a normal circle finish. So you hold down circle, and if you have a look in the bottom right, I use slightly more power than I do with the finesse finish. Now, the reason why it's only a little bit more power is because using a finesse finish takes away a lot of the velocity of the ball away, because instead of trying to hit it hard, what you're trying to do is hit it with the instep and curl it round into the empty space of the goal. So power isn't really that important, it's all about precision. In this finish, power is a lot more important. You just want to flash it past the keeper before he has a chance to react and get it in the near post. But because you're using the normal finish, you don't lose any pace, so you don't have to hammer the ball as hard as you can. What I always like to do is try and aim halfway up the power bar just before it starts to turn red, and that normally gives you enough power from inside the area to flash it past the keeper. But once you've got the power, the direction is by far and away the most important thing. Now, what you're looking to do is get it as close to that near post as possible, because if the further you get it towards the centre of the goal, the less the goalkeeper has to do to save it. Now, if you're pretty much right on top of the keeper, all he has to do is put his elbow out to deflect it over the goal, and because you're using a lot more power, it only takes a slight touch to flick it over the top. It doesn't take a solid hand at all. As long as the keeper gets something on it, the chances are it would deflect over the bar. So you need to be careful to balance out all of the required ingredients. You need enough power to get it past, but not so much you blast it over the bar. And you need to be as precise with the direction as possible. But the great thing with this finish is, by the time you're in this position, the goalkeeper has quite often been dragged out of the ideal position. Now, if you just have a look at the still image here, you can see that I've got a good yard and a half, 2 yards to aim for. And with a striker like Robin van Persie, that's plenty of room. Now, what you want to do, just power the bar up halfway, aim for the near post, and 9 times out of 10, which is a very, very good ratio from this position, the ball will fly into the net. And it's just a finish that you see used very, very sparingly online. You see a lot of people in this situation will try and bring it in the inside, try and take it round the defender. And as you can see, Van Persie is behind the last line of defenders, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defenders in the box. Now, there's no way Van Persie's going to beat all of those players in such a confined space. So you need to use the ability just to get a shot away when you're not under any pressure. And FIFA 13 really has improved the player physics and the ball physics. You can see a lot of bad touches when defenders bump strikers or just get their arm on them. They can pull them back, they can knock them off balance, and then a second player can sweep in and take the ball off you. So whenever you're behind the defence, it's much more important and much more useful to get a shot away at goal than it is to try and be clever, try and dribble past 3 or 4 players. I mean, the worst outcome you're going to get from this finish is a corner, or if you're really unlucky, the ball will hit the keeper in the face, fly over your midfielders waiting on the edge of the area, and it will bobble back into midfield and you can compete for it there. So it's much more important just to get the ball down, get it on your striker's strongest foot and have a shot than it is to try and be too tricky, too clever and end up missing the chance. So guys, that's the end of the tutorial. I really hope you've enjoyed these 2 techniques. They're very, very simple, but at the same time very, very effective. And I've received a couple of requests from people saying they were finding finishing a lot more difficult in FIFA 13. So I hope these 2 basic techniques will help you to score a lot more goals than you are now. But guys, once again, thank you so much for watching. If there's any more things you want me to cover on FIFA 13, don't be afraid to tell me. There's hundreds of potential tutorials that I could be doing here. But if there's anything you guys specifically want, send me a message or drop me a comment and I'll be quite happy to do that. So guys, once again, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.